I need a drum set now.
Are we on?
Yes.
Hello, everyone. We are the Gen X Lounge, newly named.
We finally have a name.
Now, we've gone through many different iterations from the lemon liquor to shitty painting.
Oh,
From
I forgot about
Sally's
that
I
Place.
love that one too.
Yes.
I still personally love the Sabby Can't Take Care of a Plant. I think that's an awesome name.
That
but
may be an episode.
I still love
Stay
Yeah.
tuned.
Gen X Lounge. Okay, so once again, you're here with the Three Musketeers.
Who finished her wine?
Absolutely. That's awesome. Okay.
All right, so what are we talking about today, Sir Genesis? What's our
Mhm.
topic of the
Well,
hour? 30
today
minutes.
we're going to be talking about, and I think that a lot of the viewers here will have a little bit of experience with this. So all three of us have different family dynamics, and where we're talking about how sort of curls a lot over here. She is the only child.
Mm-hmm.
I am the middle child. Wow. Jody had a little bit different dynamic in which her.
Sounds ominous.
I know, right?
Well, no, I'm just like, they had a little different thing going on. We just need ominous music, and then we can go into the inevitable idea of how Jody murdered her family. No, I'm joking about that. I'm
Yeah,
joking.
YouTubers are out there.
Yeah, I know. I'm joking about that.
No
But
way.
anyway. No, it's just about how, no matter how successful Jody was, and she is very successful, how her parents always kind of gave her brother that notch, always gave him the you're like the best kind of thing, and kind of overlooked.
The golden child.
Yeah, the golden child. And we're not talking Eddie Murphy, so.
No.
Oh, good rhythm.
Yeah. Oh. But you go back and watch it, the CGI isn't the greatest,
Not so
No.
much.
but it's absolutely
It's still an
awesome.
amazing movie.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Love
we're
it.
digressing.
Oh,
now.
we are
This is what we do.
digressing.
This is Gen
just
X
so you
Lounge,
know.
though, so
Yes.
these things will come up.
Yes, we go off tangents. Just get used to it.
Yeah,
Enjoy.
absolutely. So go out and watch Eddie Murphy, the Golden Child afterwards. But
We
for
should
the
get
next
paid
30
for this,
minutes,
man. We're
we darn
advertising
should.
other
Yeah.
people's movies. Hell yeah.
Eddie Murphy, where's my money? There you
Yeah.
go. Anyway, but I thought we can kind
Oh.
of get started with that. So I think the first person who should start to talk a little bit about her experience would have to be the only child.
Oh no, only child syndrome.
Yes, absolutely.
We are kind of weird. I'm gonna be honest. We are strange people.
This is true.
I was like slightly selfish. Yes, 100% super selfish because you don't know how to share. You don't know what to do. It's you and you're surrounded by adults 24/7 as a child growing up. So it's like weird when like people beside you, if you're put into a play situation
Mhm.
with a child and they touch your stuff and you're like, fuck me, no.
Don't touch me.
And you're like straight faced, right? Because you're trying really hard to be a good child, first of all, and you're like, but I don't want you touching my shit. Is what going through your head.
So did you grow up with like a lot of cousins or anything? Though?
I did.
Okay.
I did grow up with a lot of cousins, so I think that helped me to not do that
Yeah.
as much
It-
as a regular or as a traditional only child, maybe
Mm-hmm.
who didn't have children around them.
Made you really well adjusted. That's
Yes,
true.
But we
Absolutely.
know. So here's the benefits. You know how to play with by yourself.
Mhm.
Like your imagination goes wild. You could talk for hours to imaginary people
Right.
and not be like completely fucked in the head. But
Mhm.
you know, oh god, I really need to potty mouth and wine don't go well on YouTube. So
This
I may
is
have to
YouTube.
work on that.
I mean, don't worry. The censors are fine. We're good.
Well, because, and I wasn't, with my brother, I was fine with, because he was older than me, and so he was mature. But when I was around other kids, I couldn't stand them. Like, I didn't understand what their deal was. What was wrong with them? Why are they acting like that? Why are they doing that? Why are they awful? So, not an only child, but I couldn't understand why kids were, what was wrong with them.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Maybe because he was older and mature.
No
Maybe.
offense, Anna. He was a boy.
Not taken.
Okay, boys in
But
general. No offense.
we had trouble sharing, because he didn't
Yeah.
want to take my toys,
Yeah.
because he didn't want My Little Pony, Strawberry Shortcake,
Yeah.
Mhm.
any of the good stuff. He would just do his thing, but I always wanted his toys.
Yeah.
So he didn't want to share his toys so much.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
I see.
He
Okay.
would, but reluctance, because it wasn't two-way.
Yeah.
Oh.
I grew up with boy cousins too, and I
Of
always wanted
course.
their toys, like
Yeah.
Transformers
They're
and
better
stuff.
toys.
We
I
had
was
way
like,
better
what?
toys.
Yeah.
And at that time, like when we grew up, there was more of a divide. Like these are girls' toys and these are boys' toys.
Yeah.
It's not as much
Barbies
nowadays,
and-
but
yeah.
But yeah. Well, it's a little bit different in mine because I had 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
You and equal.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but then again, my oldest sister didn't live with us till later on.
Yeah.
That's another story. But yeah, so my sister, my youngest one, she actually grew up with a whole bunch of boys, and but then again, so she grew up a tomboy.
Yes.
She was she was very pretty, very cute and everything, and nobody really thought when they met her that she was totally like us.
Yeah.
So, she always played
It's
with
a
all the
shock.
toys,
Yeah.
our games, and everything like that. So we were just like, yeah, go ahead, kind of thing. So
Yeah.
she, I think she was like pretty okay with it. She didn't really have a problem, but then again, I mean, it would be really good to hear.
Oh my God, we should get her perspective.
Yeah, going
From
up
her
with 3
eyes.
boys. Yeah.
Watching her brothers.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, we did crazy stuff.
You're dudes.
We're dudes, and we did some craziness.
And probably got away, and yes, I know you got away with it.
Well,
Barely got busted.
no.
No?
We didn't get busted because we were just like all. In fact, it was a little bit different. She didn't get busted because she was the baby. So
yeah.
that's the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I
She
got
was
away
the-
with
She was the
more. Yes.
princess.
Right?
But it's like the older ones kind of go through all the rough stuff with the parents. So by the time you come along as the youngest, they're just tired as hell. They just can't carry the same
That's
degree.
true.
Oh, that totally happened.
Right? Like as long as
Yeah.
you're not bleeding, it's fine.
Yeah,
As long as you don't need your stomach pumped or
true.
something, you're fine.
that's true.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that's hilarious. No, only children, I think. Well, I was not a good eater. If my cousins are watching this, they'll totally believe that.
Mm.
My dad used to have to like peel grapes for me, apparently. I would eat a grape without the skin on.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
I know. So that's what I mean. Only children are a little bit weird. We've got weird things that we
For
just
me,
don't
it
do.
was you're just gonna starve. So that's
yeah.
that's
That's my mom's mentality.
So was it just the fact that you were just like, I don't want this, or
I don't remember.
or you were just like, I need my grapes peeled for me? If you
Well, that could be because technically my name does mean princess, so maybe like
oh my
unconsciously.
You were
goodness.
set up for
unconsciously.
that.
So I'm like, I was playing the role. What the hell, man?
Oh,
It's not my fault. I don't know. I was like 2 or something. Yeah, apparently.
And my name has
My
no
aunt always
meaning.
tells me that story.
Oh, that is absolutely hilarious, and
Oh.
I'm never gonna let you live that.
No,
life
I know.
as a
I know.
kid.
It's like ridiculous. I don't get it, but you know, you're a child.
You are a child,
There is
so you
no
don't have
sense
any idea.
making for that.
Exactly.
No.
And I used to, so, oh my God, my mom probably doesn't even remember this, but when I was younger, you don't have anybody to blame, right?
That's
So
true.
shit,
Oh,
if you do
yeah.
something bad,
Oh, that
it's falling
sucks.
on you.
That's true.
So I used to not like
Huh.
some of her cooking, especially like liver,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
liver, like that kind of stuff. I would, oh my God, don't judge me, but I did this. I would take my food, we'd be watching cartoons or whatever, and they would go upstairs and do whatever, and I would take it. We used to have an old freezer in the basement, and I would throw it behind the freezer.
oh, Sammy.
God.
It was so terrible. So terrible. Because I was like, if my mom found out, I was like, come on, she's like old school mom.
Oh.
I'd get the beats for sure.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
like,
I
I'm
had
thinking,
nowhere
wow,
to get
same
rid of
thing.
it. Didn't have a dog. Didn't have a little brother or
So
somebody.
just
to
throwing
throw it.
random meat behind the
Yep.
fridge basement.
Yep.
That's
I told you,
interesting.
only children are weird. They'll do shit like
That's
that.
true.
They're very like sneaky. They totally can be sneaky.
That's true.
I was
It's
too
unexpected.
scared of my parents. I was scared to
Oh, I was
death
scared.
of
That's why I did that.
them.
Yeah.
Like nothing. Like wouldn't even walk on the carpet with bare feet. Like nothing.
It's true though. Well,
No, I was scared too, but that was my hiding spot, and nobody caught on until, let's just say, much later.
see,
And let's
Oh.
just say it was not a pretty thing when they did find out.
well, yeah, I can totally see. But then again, it would be kind of like, what the heck is that smell? Was
No,
that
I was
rotten
shocked.
meat
Nobody.
back
I
here?
was surprised.
Ugh.
And that's because they'd be like,
Yeah.
Sabrina. That's the only.
I know.
person
I got.
who-
Who am I gonna like blame it on?
With
Really?
us, I'd have like I have like a
Exactly.
whole laundry list of people that you
That's
go
what
at.
I missed.
But-
I totally missed that. I have no one
That's
to
actually-
blame besides play with, but no one to blame. Yeah.
But I still think that even though you were an only child, you are very well adjusted. I think just because you had so many cousins
Yes.
and you had a lot of friends, I'm guessing, probably the ones that peeled your grapes and ate your meat for
Probably,
you.
probably.
So, like, yeah, but I still think you're like pretty well adjusted. Like,
Thanks, I appreciate that. I might
that's-
need that in this day and age. Am I well adjusted? Am I agile?
that's
There's
true.
going to be some work terminology. I don't know. I think the guy syndrome. I thought this was an ethnic thing, but now that you're saying the golden
Yeah,
child
that's
are
totally
boys,
an
No,
ethnic thing.
it's like a
doesn't
generation
matter.
thing.
Yeah, it was like 70s, 80s. Boys were still the preferred
Well,
sex.
Shit, man.
No question.
Well, I mean, back then,
Sounds like my grandmother.
yeah. With us, it's definitely an ethnic.
Yeah.
That is totally an ethnic thing. It's like, but at the same time, it was also part of the Western ideology back then that the man breadwinner. So if you
Yes.
see the guy there, he's going to be, when you're like your father and your mother were older, they were thinking that he would be like the head of the family, and that he would be the person that would would run the affairs and do everything. So he's older, he's a guy, so they put those expectations on him. They're like, okay, so let's lavish him with resources.
And they're the ones that
everything.
like disappear and never show their face again, or like don't play the caretaker role. It's actually
That's
the
true.
females that end up doing that. You know, when your parents age, caretaker type of role.
But
And that might go the other way with mine because
Yes.
they prefer my brother.
But now the question is, since there were two of you, do you think it is more of a male-female thing, or the fact that he was number one and you're number two? Because that does happen in other families
I
too.
feel like
It's
male, female.
Okay, because I
Yeah.
was thinking that because like there are
Mhm.
like families where they have more than one, like maybe two brothers, and one is the one they always lavish all the gifts on, and the other one's more like just there. So if it's not like that, and I've seen that happen quite a lot.
Well, he's the one
More
that gets
than
all the help and things. Like,
Yeah, so I was just thinking maybe it was like more like 1 and 2 kind of thing. Like he's the number one. They came out first.
No, like
He
he
was like
has
a-
all my hand-me-down furniture.
So he has all your
What?
wait, what? He
Yeah.
has all your hand-me-down
Yeah.
furniture? Wait, how does that?
Yeah, and he
How
gets
is
like
that?
he'll get like my last TV.
Yeah.
I'll give it to him for like $50, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute. This is another question though. Is he? I don't want to say it like this because you can be successful in other ways, but is he
Yes.
as successful as you are?
There's been more confusion about what to do for a career.
Ah.
So more like roadblocks or challenges or back and forth with things. So
Oh, okay.
I was more kind of, on the highway. Like I knew what I wanted to do pretty much. And even though I switched a little bit early on, it was just like, boom. And I had told my dad before he passed away when I was younger, I'm getting a PhD. I didn't know what I was getting a PhD in,
Oh.
but I was getting a
Wow.
PhD. And I promised him that,
Yeah.
like in the last year of his life.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
Aw.
I gotta follow
Oh, that's
through.
really-
Because
That's
I said,
beautiful.
and my mom was like, why are you getting a PhD? That's stupid. Now, if my brother would have said
Yeah.
he's getting a PhD, my
She'd
mom
be
would have been
like,
like, that's amazing.
Good job.
But for me, it was like, why are you wasting your time? What are you going to do with
Yeah,
that?
forget them. You just do you. That's
Yeah, man.
So,
But then, would it be more about he needed more help than you? Maybe like you were,
I
sturdy
think it's
farmer
the
Brown
dynamic
kind
of you maybe need a little more and they want to offer more. And so then you just create this situation where he now is in more of a position to receive, whereas I'm more about, I don't need help, get away from
Yeah,
me.
that's what I
That's
mean.
me.
And
I was just
that's
gonna
I don't
say
need
that.
anyone
Yeah.
when I'm
Can
sick.
do it on myself.
Yeah.
I won't
Yeah.
get
So they're
help.
just like
Yes.
you,
If I
like
have a surgery, taking care of myself. I don't
Yeah.
need anything.
so.
I
Then,
think it's a personality thing too.
Yeah, I think
don't
so,
think it's
too.
just like I would have said only child syndrome totally like that. I'm like I can handle my
Yeah.
stuff. You know what I mean? I don't need a caretaker. But you kind of do. It's just that you give this persona of being strong.
Yeah.
When
That-
you're probably the one
agreed.
people need to check in on you more.
Mhm.
They should, but because on your outside you
Yeah.
project
yeah, you're a rock.
that you're
just
like,
yeah.
I got this, don't worry
Yeah.
about it. Inside you're just like, oh my god, I'm dying. Like,
Yeah.
if you're
Yeah.
sick or whatever, and you're like, no, I have to be strong. I don't know if it's that like a societal thing for women to show that they can manage on their own
Yeah.
versus being seen as vulnerable or
I think that started to happen more
Yeah.
in the 80s and 90s
Yeah.
where it was like, we need to overprove,
Yes.
like go beyond
It's,
Yeah.
but it's
and be almost extreme with it.
it's not only just not even only a male and female thing. I'm like that in my family too.
yeah.
It's just
Mm.
more about like when I moved in with my brother when he had like his divorce and all that stuff. Yeah, and I was like, yeah, I can do it. I'm
Yeah.
helping my family out. I
That's
can
what
do
it
it.
is.
And they come in to me because they're just like, Nana, you are well, the rock, so I go and help out everybody.
You know what that means? We all are. We're all the caregivers.
Yeah, that's
Fuck
true.
us.
That's why we all are in health.
Healthcare,
So that's what it is.
psychology.
Exactly.
That's the problem. So we have to be strong.
That's
Either
true.
that or like the rest of people who were around the most, like family wise or loved
Yeah.
ones, they can't handle conflict.
That
Or they
is
Well,
can't
and
handle
early
when
life
shit
events,
goes wrong.
like when my dad
Yeah.
was sick and going through his treatment and then passed away, everyone was kind of afraid to approach me and ask how I was, so no one asked how I was.
Yeah, that's what happened.
So I
People
had
would-
no adults checking in on me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so I actually I think it was like a day or two after his funeral, I went back and I wrote a chemistry exam, and this was in grade 12. I pretty much aced the exam, so they thought I cheated. But it was my coping mechanism.
Yes.
Like, if I
Yeah.
just focus so hard on
Yep.
school, then I don't need to
Yeah.
worry about falling apart because
That's
no one's
exactly
going to
what it
be
is.
there to check in on me.
Yeah.
So I just got to nail this and not let myself sit in what's happened
Mhm.
because I'm not
So
going to have
true.
someone catch me.
Yeah.
So,
That's totally the role we played our whole lives.
Mhm.
Oh my god. No wonder we're connected.
Joy and ecstasy seem so far.